Till now, what we do know is very clear. What we know in terms of the chats, and we're going to give those chats out, what the chats reveal. Once again, I want to just go back to what we have just come to know. Is Sushant's sister spoke to Sushant Singh Rajput. This is her sister Priyanka. Meetu came on the 8th, but this is the sister Priyanka that he was having a conversation on a chat group. So he speaks to Priyanka, the sister, on the 8th of June, while Riya was still present there. Riya hasn't left there, Meetu hasn't come in there, Riya is still there. Sushant Singh Rajput's sister knew of actor's mental health, which is very clear in what we're going to show you right now. His sister Priyanka arranges a prescription for Sushant. And Sushant's sister spoke on anti-anxiety pills. There are other pills as well. Some of them are actually used for other mental illnesses as well. Sushant Singh Rajput's sister also spoke of arranging a prescription by a doctor, and she goes on to do so. She goes on to arrange this prescription. Let's decode the prescription, which was arranged by Sushant's sister Priyanka in Delhi while Sushant is in Bombay. So she arranges a prescription in Delhi for Sushant by a doctor on a very reputed hospital in Delhi. Sushant's sister Priyanka, with the late actor on June 8th in a conversation, sends this prescription. The medication mentioned by Priyanka for Sushant were Nexito for treating depression, Librium for treating, amongst many other treatments. It is treated for acute alcohol withdrawal. However, this is also used in other anti-depressive kind of medicines. Lonazap, MD, for treating panic anxiety is also used in the case of epilepsy. This was an SOS medication. She tells him to take these 3 medications. Sushant then says that he really doesn't have a prescription. Nobody's going to give it to him. So she says, wait, I'll arrange the prescription for you. And then she arranges a prescription without Sushant actually consulting with any doctor and sends him the prescription. Now, the big questions that now need to be asked: why did the family say it didn't know of Sushant Singh Rajput's mental health? On social media platforms, we've had many a times where the family has said so, especially his sister. On social media has made it very clear that he never really suffered from any mental illness. His own lawyer, his family's lawyer, Vikas Singh, has come on record multiple times saying he did not suffer from any mental illness. With the Bihar police, with the statements given to the Mumbai police, to the ED, the family has maintained that Sushant did not suffer from mental illness. Was Sushant Singh Rajput's family in denial about his mental condition? And if they were in denial, how is it that Priyanka was actually getting prescription drugs for him without him even consulting? And these drugs are not mild drugs. These are used in a lot of times as psychotropic drugs for mental illness. Who gave the medication to Sushant Singh Rajput? It's very clear because the sister right here had got him that prescription drug. How did Sushant Singh Rajput's sister get that prescription without consulting a doctor? Lots of questions out there. We're going to continue to get our viewers the latest. I want to connect right now to my colleague Munish Pandey, who's joining me live from Mumbai, and our Mumbai Bureau Chief Sahil Joshi for a larger perspective on what's developing. Munish, what I want you to do is, because there's so much that has been said and done over the course of the last couple of weeks, we want to keep it very factual. I want you to tell us what has been the lawyer's stand, the family's stand when they were questioned by the ED, when they were questioned by the Bihar police, when they were questioned by the Mumbai police. Did the family say that Sushant was depressed, or did they say that he was not depressed at all? What was the family's stand on Sushant's mental illness when they spoke or were interrogated by these various agencies and Bihar and Delhi police, Mumbai police?
Yeah, well, Preeti, why this has become important at this point of time is because in the statement given by KK Singh, father of Sushant Singh Rajput, he maintains that his son, Sushant Singh Rajput, was not suffering from any mental disorder. That was the first claim he made. And there was allegation against Riya Chakravarti that she was the one who was finding and choosing doctor for Sushant Singh Rajput. And the third big allegation was that Riya Chakravarti was the one who was giving overdose of medicines, that these medicines are something which are prescribed by the doctors. You can't go and buy from any medical store, but still there was allegation by the family, and that is why the Central Bureau of Investigation started this. And so far the Central Bureau of Investigation have been grilling Riya Chakravarti over Sushant's mental health issues. Now, why this has become important? Because these allegations against Riya Chakravarti, but by these chats, there is a clear indication that family members of Sushant Singh Rajput were aware of it. The sister Mitu Singh and the second sister Priyanka, at least they were aware of it. And the second important aspect is that when they knew that Sushant Singh Rajput is suffering from mental health issues, then why did they not consult a doctor physically? There was no need to, consult a doctor over a phone and get medicines for a person who is already facing a problem. So these are going to be something very sensitive in nature as far as CBI is concerned. Now, what I've been given to understand is that in backdrop of these information, they will be not only questioning the family members of Sushant Singh Rajput, but also the doctor who gave the prescription over phone, which is illegal in nature. And this is something which the CBI is going to take it very seriously, because Riya Chakravarti has so far told CBI that the family members of Sushant Singh Rajput were told by her, Shruti Modi and other few persons about Sushant's mental health condition. Preeti?
All right, Munish, just stay on with me. I want to cut across right now to Sahil Joshi. Sahil, just the way the narrative of the story has been going on, it clearly seemed to suggest that the family had absolutely no clue about Sushant Singh Rajput's mental health. However, off late, it started off with the WhatsApp chat release between Shruti Modi and his sister, which seemingly suggested that the family clearly knew that he was suffering from some mental illness. However, this particular chat, clearly lays bare, it's on the 8th of June, and it's talking about how Priyanka is telling him to take 3 different medications. Now, these are psychotropic drugs. They can only be given, it's illegal to just prescribe it without actually consulting with the patient. This is what happened in this case. On the other account, Sahil, it was very clear. The family really not just knew, but they were trying to get him help.
Absolutely. In fact, if you see that since last 1 month, there are multiple videos which were released by the family members, and on those videos, the family lawyer and also from the family, they have been talking about this through social media and through their lawyer, that how Sushant was happy, and how can we say that a person who is looking so much happy in the videos can commit, such kind of an act of suicide? How can there be a question of his mental health? How can there be a question that he was depressed? Now, this particular chat clearly shows that not only they knew about it, but they also knew about the prescription. What sort of drugs should be taken in these circumstances, that was also known to his sister Priyanka, who was staying with him in 2019 in April. And because they had a fight over Riya, and that's why she and her husband left for Delhi. It has come in the various statements given by the aides of Sushant Singh Rajput. Now, most important part of this chat is that Priyanka also mentions that don't worry, this will remain confidential. That means they try to hide it from people, and that is the reason why maybe that they have been telling media all along that he was not suffering from any kind of mental illness or any sort of depression. Now, we have to ask the Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital that such a senior doctor, how is he giving this particular prescription without seeing Sushant Singh Rajput? Did he speak to Sushant Singh Rajput to understand what is he going through, and after that has he prescribed this particular medicine? Because Karsi Chawda, the doctor earlier, whose medical report India Today had unearthed some 2 days back, had met Sushant Singh Rajput before prescribing him the medicine. He had met him last year, and after that he was admitted under Karsi Chawda, and accordingly he will have been subscribing medicines to him as far as the depression and existential crisis is concerned. But this particular doctor, without meeting Sushant Singh Rajput, is prescribing Sushant a particular medicine. It's something which now we will have to ask the Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital, that is it allowed in the practice, or is it only been given to Priyanka because they had maybe the family friend or any they might be knowing each other, maybe because of that. But is it allowed to prescribe such these medicines without seeing a patient who has been suffering from this. And, you know, there are multiple instances. Sushant has been taking help from doctors right from 2013. He was under treatment from Dr. Harish Shetty. Harish Shetty has given his statement to Mumbai police. So there is nothing which is coming forward which, you know, we are trying to make something sensational or something which is not in the reality at this point of time. We are just trying to put forward what has happened with Sushant Singh Rajput, because now it has become, you know, talk of the nation suddenly. And so that's why these things needs to come forward, so that people should know what the mental health issues are, and it cannot be hidden. It cannot be spoken about only by seeing certain videos in which a person looks very happy and doing his job. So, you know, this is something which is really important, which now the family and the lawyer has to answer, because this is something will also come in the investigation. As Munish had said, who has been following CBI investigation, that the questions which are being asked to Riya Chakravarti are about the mental health issues. So CBI seems to be on the right track, on which the Mumbai police was also there. They had you know, taken statements from 5 psychiatrists and psychotherapists who had you know, treated Sushant Singh Rajput earlier. So that is something now which is going to look at. Now let's see what CBI comes up with after that, because the case has taken multiple turns till now, and this is something which was already in existence. We are just bringing it to the light. That's what I had to say about this.
All right, you know, Sahil, appreciate you joining us, because what's really happened is the realms of reality that you were talking about have been blurred in this case. You know, as journalists, it's our duty to get you all angles with what we have just presented. Leave alone, because, you know, the CBI will conduct its investigation, and everybody should leave it for the investigative agency to come up with its answer. But when you talk about mental health, videos of laughing, people celebrating, really don't tell you what's really going on inside that veneer. There are people who are high-functioning, depressive cases, all of that. We are not saying anything. We're just trying to put out all possible angles to this story. Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.